Hey y'all, it's me. Just want to say I'm out here today enjoying my Sunday. Heute ist Sonntag, y'all. You see the hair is in a fro. I washed it. I blow dried it just earlier. I didn't really have time to flat iron it, so we're in our, puffy state, our poofy state, but yet we're still out here enjoying our day. And I just want to give a special acknowledgement to my YouTube channel for all the people that came in the chat earlier. I appreciate you for having a dialogue and a discourse. And what we're trying to move this country to is not to be so hypersensitive when people have a difference of opinion. So if that's one thing that I could, share with you, is just please try to have an open mind. Even if you don't agree with someone, we don't have to resort to name calling, right? And belittling and with all of the insults, because that's when, things start to really get out of control and escalate. And then that can incite violence within itself. I already heard that our country could potentially be going to war. I am hoping that that's not the case. I don't want that to be the case, y'all. I want us to have, a peaceful life here in America. I don't want us to feel that we have to worry about being in a war, y'all, because technically this country is already in war. We're at war and we don't even know it. We're at war with this government, with the politicians keeping us so divided and divisive. We're at war with that, y'all. People don't even understand that. We are being utilized and pinned against one another. The people that really have the power and the control and everything that matters in this society are the elites, the billionaires, the trillionaires, and people like that make all of the decisions. So think of how many people reside in this world, and think of how much power and control we don't have, right, over this country's affairs. I think that we should be the people that rule the government, not the government ruling us, because that's how it is in some of the other nations. But we basically are dictated, by the government. It's almost like a tyrannical situation. And so if we're not careful, we can lose control of this country in its entirety, y'all. We really don't have control, to be honest. We really don't have control like we think we do. So the infighting amongst one another is not going to help. The name calling, the insulting is not going to help. The separation and division. Now sometimes separation and division can be good in some instances, and sometimes it can be harmful depending on how it's done, right? Let's talk about the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings. Black Wall Street, they were separate and they were thriving financially, and what ended up happening, they came and destroyed that, y'all. So as long as we understand the real narrative of the history of this country, I think we can get somewhere, at least by having dialogues, having conversations. But if you always want to basically gaslight someone and tell them that their truth doesn't exist, your experience didn't happen that way, you're using this as an excuse, we're not going to get anywhere like that, because you're invalidating someone's real life experience, and that's not right. Your life matters, right? I'm not just saying BLM, because I don't even subscribe to that whole narrative in the first place, right? I know what stands behind that, and I know people, when they say it for a different reason, but I know and I understand the politics behind it, right? So we know that life matters. Human life matters. Even, I would say, plant life matters. Trees. If we didn't have trees right now, where would we get our oxygen from? They're telling us that the oxygen comes from the trees. If we didn't have life itself, none of this would matter. We get life and energy from the sun. If we didn't have animals, y'all, a lot of us wouldn't even exist. If we didn't have fruits, vegetables, all these things, we wouldn't be walking and talking and doing the things that we're doing today. So all life matters. And we need to have these people accountable to stop pillaging this earth, stop pillaging this land, taking all of its natural resources and just building buildings all over the place. This homelessness needs to be addressed. The hunger needs to be addressed. All of the people out here that do not have somewhere to live and sleep at night, that doesn't even have to exist in America. Yet they make it so difficult for people to survive, and it's ridiculous. For this to be allegedly one of the best countries and richest countries in the world, I certainly don't see that. When I drive and I see people out here panhandling, and I see people that are veterans that don't have anywhere to go, it's like these people have, some of them have given up on life, and you don't know what these people have had to face. You just don't know. And I also want to say this. It is very easy for people to turn their backs on people when they're down and out, and you know, make excuses about why these people are in these situations. But if you're not helping the problem and you're not trying to understand and you don't care, be very careful, all right? Because tables can turn swift, quickly, and in a hurry. You never know what can come about in life, right? You never know how the narrative can change in your life. So be careful the next time, you know, you want to talk about people that are not facing a challenge that you are facing. You know, now I know people have to make decisions, and some of these people make decisions that have impacted their lives for the worse, but that's not all people, and we have to understand that as well. So that's the message that I want to convey. I thank you so much for tuning in. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time, you all stay blessed. Remember to continue to walk in your divinity, y'all. Take care.